All right, gang, we are back with Project Black Sheep. Now, the truck is not complete, but it is on the road and we are enjoying it. Now is the opportunity I would like to take to have a quick walkthrough on it, on what we did to get her on the road and where we're at with it. So, as you can see, and I think I may have stated before, we're using factory 5.9 limited Jeep wheels. I think they look amazing. The whole point of this build, gang, is to show you that, hey, you want a rear-wheel drive, old, fun vehicle to play with, but you can't afford a Challenger or a Charger or a Mustang or a Camaro. These things are out there. You just gotta look. Okay, it's not a hot rod. Maybe it's not gonna win too many drag races, but it's a V8, rear-wheel drive, posi track or sure grip, old vehicle that you can have fun with. Now, there is a few things that you need to make sure you do. Let me demonstrate here one of them. Back in the day, the radiator cap would just vent out into the atmosphere. When it got warm and the cap would let a little bit of pressure off, it would vent down onto the ground. That is extremely dangerous. So we've installed one of our overflow tanks down here in the bottom. Not the prettiest at this time, but it's functional and works. Proper battery hold downs, gang. So many people, they throw a bungee cord around it. Be safe with the battery. You do not want that falling into the fan or out of the vehicle. Normally I would run a metal filter here. If you look on Nick's garage, he explains that, and he's right. We have this filter here right now temporarily so I can see how the tank condition is doing. Now I have a pre-filter set up before the pump and this one so I can see if anything's making it past the pump into the carburetor. We have not really touched the engine bay cosmetic wise yet. Bear with us. We have very cool things coming that we think you'll love. That'll be the next stage here. So we'll close this up. Truck is running the 69 grill that we had on hand. The truck itself is a 70, but we've installed the 69 grill because 68, 70, 71, and 69. I missed 69 there. My apologies. So the 69 grill will fit 68 through 71. This truck still has the newer under grill, so it's set up to fit the chrome one. That chrome grill was so twisted, it just wasn't usable. So because we had the parts, we went with the 69 grill. Stock front bumper. As you can see, the two-tone motif we've gone with. I've got new marker lights on order. For now, we're just using the best old stock ones we've got. You can see Uncle Bobo's air horn through the grill there. All right, gang, moving right along here. We spoke about the 5.9 liter wheels. I'd like to point out too, we got the factory drums on there still. We plan to do a disc brake conversion, but right now the brake pads were good. We rebuilt the wheel cylinders. There's no need really to replace those brakes at the current time. So we're gonna run with the drum brakes. We got Transdapt wheel spacers, the style that you bolt onto the hub. Make sure you use the right size lug nuts and Loctite when you bolt those onto your hubs if you're using them, gang. It has the power assist style power steering from back in the day. You Mustang guys out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. It has a ram that's attached to the tie rod that helps center and assist your steering pressure. All right, moving right along here. So we picked up some metal mirrors that we felt would look good at Princess Auto. Thank you, Princess Auto, for your support, by the way. Rocking the factory Dodge 100 emblems. We've been driving the truck quite a bit, shaking it down, so you'll see some dirt on it. Bear with us. Same like I said with the engine bay. It's gonna look pretty. Give us some time. LED marker lights. We have not wired them in yet because where we live, a 1971 and down vehicle only needs reflectors. Inside these, there is reflectors, so we're good for now. That being said, they're going to be wired in. Now, we spoke about the mirror. We take a quick look inside here. We're basically stock. We're in the process of installing gauges down there. Uncle Bobo's building a console, so we just quickly attach those to the dash. They're not permanently installed. What else can we talk about? We threw some tint on the back window if you want to look from out here, Uncle Bobo. Just a quick, not too dark. I'm not a big fan on tint. Here's a tip for you old truck guys. So, as you can see, we filled the truck up all the way to the top for the first time last night. We've been running it about half a tank in case we had to drain the tank due to the old rust or anything we needed to, in case we had to take the tank out. I filled it up for the first time. The first right-hand turn I made, sploosh, out it came. Now the paint appears to be holding up. We changed the gas cap and I put an extra rubber seal on it. For now, we're gonna rock with it. Much like I did in my truck, Betsy, I'm gonna ditch the in-cab tank and we're gonna go with a saddle tank underneath or maybe back behind the frame rails. We're not entirely sure yet. Okay, so back here we have the factory Chrysler 8 3/4, 5.9 liter limited rim, and these tires. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this, but these tires are, both rear tires are the factory spares from Jeep 5.9 liter from 1998. That being said, I'm not about to drive on the highway with them. There's no dry rotting in them. Check your date codes. If you're going to be taking a vehicle on a long trip or above, say 55 miles an hour, don't run old tires. Moving right along. We went with the back bumper off our parts truck Rooster, along with the taillight surrounds. We had a few sets of taillight lenses. We went with the least fogged up set. Of course, the nicest ones are on Betsy. These are aftermarket, obviously, reverse lights that I picked up at Princess Auto. Once again, thank you, Princess Auto. Let me show you. Hang on a sec here. So, especially at night, they work great, gang. Now, I got to get back to turn the ignition off because this truck still has points. I'll be back to talk to you about that in a minute. Alrighty, so while we're on the subject of points ignition, if you get an old truck or an old car, Chrysler's, anything built 71, 72 even sometimes and down if it's a base model, will have points ignition. You cannot leave your ignition key in the forward position if the vehicle isn't running, because if the points are together, they'll weld together and then you won't be able to get the vehicle to start. The tune-up for this truck, I've never had a vehicle do this. So we checked the points, I cleaned them before the first start, put the cap back on, and it fired. We have yet to change the spark plugs or the wires or the cap and rotor. Now I've looked at them all and cleaned them. The plugs were all out when we did the first start. That is coming. That'll be in the next video, but I gotta say, they must not have a lot of miles on them because they're still working. Okay, so we've put the back bumper on out of our parts truck Rooster. We quickly painted the Dodge because you gotta have, you gotta tell the world I'm driving a Dodge. Everybody's got a Ford and a Chevy, right? So, awesome reverse lights. We went with the surrounds. Now, normally those would be on an Adventurer or an Adventurer SE, or you could order them. This D100 is a base model. That being said, there's nothing wrong with adding options when it's up to you. So, something that is very simple that we felt would dress the truck up great is the taillight surrounds. They're quickly attached with some 3M two-sided tape at the moment to make sure we liked them. We feel that they match the old school looking reverse lights. Let us know what you think, gang. Much like I wasn't sure on that Cadillac engine, Chris, if you're out there watching, thank you for letting me know it was a 429. Those cars are coming back too, gang. You wait for those. They'll be on the way here shortly. All right, so simple, just a cheapy screw-on chrome tip. Now, normally I would never endorse a screw-on exhaust tip. I mean, if I was doing a proper exhaust system, I would either run the pipes or a proper weld-on, MagnaFlow tip or something like on my 5.9 Jeep. That being said, this is on a budget. If you're a young person, guy or girl, and you want to get into an old truck, You can do it. You just have to be inventive, much like our marker lights here. Okay, we've got maybe $500 into this truck so far. A lot of hours and the cost of the paint. But, like the pinstripe, I saw comments, how did you guys do that? Well, we painted the part of the truck gray first, let it completely dry overnight, and then installed the proper thin line painter's tape, and then painted the truck black. Again, on the back, we got the factory drum brakes. It is a 323 sure grip. I know you've heard me say that before, but I'm very happy about that. 8 3/4 Chrysler rear ends are basically as strong as a Ford 9-inch. If you're a real Mopar guy, you shouldn't have a Ford 9-inch in the back of your car. You should have an 8 3/4. That being said, Tony Angelo, I'm talking to you. I understand, because the aftermarket for a Ford 9-inch is endless. The aftermarket for a Chrysler 8 3/4 is not endless. Perfect example of this, gang. If you're going to restore a Mopar, what I'm trying to get at here, it's so expensive. If you go and watch Hot Rod Garage, Tony Angelo and Lucky Costa, they try to do a Duster on the cheap with a 5.7 Hemi swap. Something like the same thing you do to a Camaro with an LS swap. Watch that episode on Hot Rod Garage on the Motor Trend app, Tony Angelo and Lucky Costa. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, moving right along here, like I said, we got the factory sunroof here. And did I talk about the sunroof yet? No, maybe I didn't. Anyways, gang, sorry, I love this truck. So I'm trying to keep up with myself here. Uncle Bobo made some changes to the interior. You'll probably see some shots of us driving the truck where the doors are still cream, or whatever you'd call that. What would you call that, Uncle Bobo? Cream, beige, baby throw up brown. All right, gang, so Uncle Bobo has two-toned the interior here, as we were talking about. And if you look on the seat there, if you guys are interested in getting a car hoodie, let us know and check the link in the description below and order yours today. Okay, now, what does the truck still need? It's running, it's driving, it's reliable, but we do want to do the disc brake conversion because, well, four-wheel drum brakes, they're not fun, especially, and this is a warning to people out there that aren't used to it. Myself, I grew up with them. If you're not used to driving a vehicle with four-wheel manual drums, get used to it before you take it in traffic, okay? Basically, you got to double your distance that you're used to in a regular modern-day vehicle because, one, they fade, two, they'll pull randomly, three, they're just not as good as these new systems. And, of course, they don't have anti-lock. Stereo system, we stayed with the 80s installed tape deck because it suits the dash. We rock Bluetooth speakers, gang, because, well, they work really good. Now, what is left to do? This truck is going to be lowered properly. You'll see that happen. It's going to get a roll control device put in it. If you don't know what a roll control is, stay tuned. You'll watch us install it. Uncle Bobo is going to do a full tune-up. Spark plugs, spark plug wires, cap, rotor, condenser, points, etc. We're also going to tidy the truck up and more finish things, like we didn't finish the roof paint. It was a quick coat. It's not done. We want to fix it so it looks just right. Now, we're not going for a restored truck look. What we're going for here, gang, is a semi-resto mod. So we've made changes that aren't stock, but all we've done is increase the value of the truck. Let's be honest, bone stock 70 swept lines aren't worth a lot of money if they're not running and driving. The modifications and additions we've made to this truck have added value to it. And I can't count the amount of thumbs up that this old girl gets us. Now, we left Grandpa's whiskey dent in here because, well, it adds character. I even rubbed the truck through a bush the other day. Holds up. It has what I like to call, now I'm not a big fan of patina, and I'm not a big fan of flat black. That's why we use semi-gloss. Truck's filthy right now, but you can tell it's not flat. I'm not a big fan when people completely change a vehicle, or they think, oh, I got to get rid of that. It's got history. Remember, gang, at some point, now I happen to know the history on this truck. Originally, it was ordered as a City of Yakima service vehicle. Then, after, I think it was 11 years it spent doing that, it was sold to a lady with an apple orchard. She used it to move apples and sell apples until our friend Zoli bought the truck sometime in the early 90s. He then drove it up until the year 2000, where it got parked in the van, or in the van and the truck got parked in the barn. Pardon me, I was picturing the van, gang. Okay, so he brought the cube van up when he moved to Canada and the truck. His buddy drove the cube van, he drove this. They put both of them away in 2000. There we go. I got through that, and we didn't even have to do a second take, gang. That's where this like, share, and subscribe right there. Okay, what else have I not covered, Uncle Bob? Well, we got simple things like license plate surrounds we put on it. It's just little modifications, gang, that you can do to your old vehicle that don't cost a lot, that are fun to do. Get out there, work on the old iron, get it back on the road. Like I was just talking about, we happen to know the history on this one, but a good example is our old 74 New Yorker Brougham. I know that car, now it's too far gone to safely be driven on the road. That's why you haven't seen it. If you go back to our original videos, you'll catch glimpses of it. The drivetrain from it is going to be used. While Nick, from Nick's Garage, is doing the 383 out of Betsy, the 440 from the New Yorker is going into Betsy so I can keep driving her. Make sure you guys check out Nick's Garage as well. There'll be a link in the description for that. Amazing channel, especially if you're into muscle cars. Anyways, so a good example, the New Yorker Brougham. Somebody sat down and ordered that car in 1973. It's a 74 model. They ordered it brand new, checked off all the options. They were trying to make a Chrysler Imperial without having to pay Imperial money, and they nailed it. What happened with that car's life where we, Uncle Bobo and I, found it? And I don't know if we have a clip. I'll try. If we do, I'll put it in. If we don't, we don't. But we found it basically sunk in the mud in a collapsed porta garage. It had been sitting there for 7 years with the windows down. Now, we did get that car back on the road. We did get it running and driving. One of the times where I put it up on the lift, I looked at the frame rail extensions. They were rotten. I stopped driving the car. I'm all about putting old iron back on the road. If it's not safe to do so, gang, don't drive it. It's that simple. All right, so what else have we got done to the truck here so far? Like I said, we got lots coming. Seat cover, the interior color change, gauges. Uncle Bobo has a surprise for the console for you. That's on the way. We just wanted to update you, gang. We were away for a few days out camping because, well, as you said in the comments, I needed the break. Now that we're back, we're going to be gung-ho on Project Black Sheep, and we really think you're going to enjoy this. And not only is it a fun truck to have, but everyday people, you guys can do the same thing. Let us know what you want to see, gang. If you have a specific thing you think we should change, if you have something you want to see on the truck, if one of our other vehicles you want to see more of it, comment, let us know. Like I said, the Cadillacs are on their way. You'll see a lot of those coming up along with Black Sheep. If there's something you want to see, let us know. Like, share, and subscribe, gang, and we'll see you soon.